Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Geekverse Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, the Canadian Taylor Field, and I'm joined by...
I am the fudging idiot, Dylan Muss.
Yes, we are here on an ever panel of rotating hosts for Fallout. There's no big three, but it's just always either it's you and me, you and Travis, or me and Travis.
And you're busy next week, right? So you're not going to be there
Yeah.
for the finale?
I won't be here for the finale, no,
That's
sadly.
too bad. That's too
Well,
bad.
Madison did say, like, oh, you could bring your laptop with you and you could just do it if it's at night. I'm like, well, maybe. So
It is the finale.
it is the finale. It is the finale. So I'll have to maybe I might be there. Maybe I might be there. We'll get all three. But yeah, we're doing Fallout. That's the name of the game. Penultimate episode tonight. I guess we're just skipping the non-spoilers portion of this, right?
Sure, why not?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like that's our new MO now, just to kind of.
Yeah, let's get
you
into
know,
the meat and
get in.
potatoes. You know what I mean?
That's right, the meat and potatoes.
Let's
yeah.
get into the squirrel stew. You know what I mean?
The squirrel stew, yeah. Or what do they call it? The lice soup. Remember, wasn't that a few episodes back?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll talk about the Patreon and all that fun stuff later when the ad breaks and everything. But if you haven't seen the episode, go watch it, come back, and then dive into this review with us. But where do you want to start, Dylan?
Let's see. I think maybe we'll save some of the juicier stuff for the end or for later on at the very least. So maybe I'll start with this because this was interesting. You know, this season in general, we've talked about this episode by episode of like, man, there's like 5 or 6 like storylines going on, and it feels like some episodes we completely ignore some of them. Other episodes we're like all in on some of them. Like usually that would be like Howard and Lucy stuff. Like sometimes we'll just get episodes that's just like the two of them. This one, I feel like we actually got like a little bit of everybody. So is spread thin in that way, but I also feel like there's a couple of these storylines that didn't really move a whole lot. Like Norm, for example, Lucy's brother, he like makes a phone call and then gets knocked out, and that's like what happens with his storyline this episode. Like it's very little what's going on there, so I don't know if there's much to break down. But one of the things I thought was interesting is I feel like we haven't seen a whole lot of Vault 33 recently. There was a bit more last week for sure with like the all of the stuff with what was it the not I was about to say cannibal. It's not cannibal. It's like the incest group that they had going on, and there was like that drama going on there. And then we're leading up to like this wedding thing. So we got this, but then we also got like some like a flashback of Steph living in the before times and all that, and seeing a bit more of that backstory, which didn't really move the needle much for me. But I'm curious what you thought about that, and I guess I was just surprised to get something like that for her. Like she feels like a very minor character in this series overall, but it's rare that we get flashbacks to the before times. So I was surprised we got one for her. But yeah, what'd you think of that storyline going on with Steph and Chet?
Yeah, that was just kind of a curveball, just getting her, I guess, her origin a little bit kind of featured there. And then it was just it was rushed because all of a sudden, you know, she's crossing the border, and then now here she is being a room attendee in Vegas. So that's something. And like, I don't know where that kind of fits into what her motivations are, but obviously she's got a connection because Goggins' character was like, you want a job at Vault-Tec? Well, you know, he's your guy, and looks at Hank. And so obviously there's some kind of pre-existing thing that we're not aware of, the plan that they're alluding to, that she is definitely conscious of, involving Vault 31. So why they chose to give us this little backstory, I mean, they didn't need to show her motivation for doing what needs to be done, like killing people, you know, and her mom being like, you know, I raised you as Catholic, but you can throw all that out the window now, you know, you got to hurt people, God allows it, like all this kind of stuff. I didn't really need to see that. I would have been okay to see, like, okay, she works for Hank. That's questionable enough, because Hank is a questionable character, so anyone that works under him is going to be equally as questionable in my books. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Do you think she put that what was his name? Was his name Morgan or whatever? Like that guy who was asking questions with the glasses. Did she put the whole guy down the garbage disposal? Is that what I'm supposed to believe, or just the glasses?
Woody?
Yeah, Woody.
I mean, because I'm trying to remember back. Was it like when she found him in the hallway? Is that the last time we saw them together, or was there a scene after that I can't remember?
I thought it was when he just walked in and started like questioning her in her suite.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's it. So I think she. God, that I feel like that would take a long time to get the whole body, because he's a big boy too, to get the whole guy down the disposal. So I don't know if she did that. Maybe the glasses. I don't know. Maybe he's like in the garden. Maybe she's like decomposing the body in like the soil or something like that.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't know. Like, do you think he's actually alive? Like, we just saw the glasses, so technically he could still be alive.
Yeah, he could technically still be alive because what was the pitch that he was on a leadership exchange program with
Yeah.
31 or something like that. So
Unless I'm forgetting, we didn't see him like die on screen, and I'm just totally
no,
forgetting.
and if you don't see someone die on screen, then they're technically still alive. I feel like he's dead though. I just got the kind of vibes just because of the theme of the show.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that
Hmm.
happening.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, she's always kind of been a devious type of maybe not the start of season one, but I feel like for a long time now she's been seen as kind of a devious character, always something going on. Obviously the eye patch also makes her a little bit more menacing the way, and she's always like scowling, she's very rude to her, well, I was about to say husband, not quite husband. But I don't know, I feel like there is like they're trying to set her up as like a villain antagonist character, but at the same time, I feel like the point of giving the backstory was to like make you a little bit more sympathetic for her. But I don't know if that's really what I got from it. I think what I gleaned from that sequence in general is that she is a fighter. She is very tenacious. She has like really good survival skills in the sense that like, making it through that snowy action sequence, making it through just the border, somehow getting integrated into Vault-Tec and whatnot, which obviously is like a very life preserving thing for her. So it seems like she just is extremely resilient and is very cutthroat. Like they kind of hinted at that too, and she's brushing her teeth, which also you see her like without the eye patch and see the eye hole, and it's quite nasty.
It
Uh,
is.
and then she's doing the tooth. She's brushing her teeth, and you're getting going to the flashback, coming back to real time, and then like when she's going past the border guard, she like spits some blood out into like the sink or whatever it is, and I guess that's supposed to signify that she killed the guy. Do you think she killed that border guard?
I thought there was a quick pan of like the guy's dead body in the booth that she was walking by, or did I
Oh, okay,
blink
okay,
and see something else? I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
okay. I must have been writing a note when that particular moment happened, but yeah, like she's very very cutthroat character, but I don't know how much that pre-time stuff really connects with what's going on now. But I think they're lacking that angle of like, why should I care about this person? Like, I think it's tricky when so many of our key players, because I liked Norm, but he's long gone from 33. He hasn't been there like this whole season really. So, yeah, I don't know. I just don't. I'm just not that invested in her. On like she's an antagonist to characters that I also like. I don't care what happens to Chet, and I have no investment in this character. And then there's like no one else. Like the sequence with the guy who's setting up like the incest group. Like it's kind of funny, I guess, but like I don't really care too much about the fates of any of these characters. So I just don't know who this is really serving. So to put like a bunch of extra content on this character in the penultimate episode, I don't know, felt like odd pacing to me. Like I feel like we got bigger fish to fry at this point in the game.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I mean, I like her relationship with is her name Barb? I'm trying to remember the leader of the other Vault 33.
Can't remember her name.
Because I feel like that's the only real kind of that's the only character in the vault that I'm really enjoying. Because yeah, Norm's gone doing his own thing, but the stuff with Barb and um,
Betty.
Betty,
Chat.
thank you, Betty,
Thanks, bud.
Betty, and then the other chick who is from Vegas, the with the blonde hair, the eye patch. I'm just so bad with these names right now. I like their dynamic and I like what's going on between them because I feel like they both kind of have like a similar understanding of well, Betty doesn't know what the grand plan is for the vault, so there's that, but she definitely knows something is off. But I don't care for any of the side stuff inside. The little meetings that guy's doing with the food and the snacks, the salty snacks, don't care about it at all. So, yeah, I'm just I'm waiting to figure out what's going to come of this and I don't know, it'd be nice to see a little bit more of growth with the characters and with their connections with each other instead of just the two. And the two aren't even like a really really strong, grab for me engagement wise, but it's something. I personally would have been fine if we just left the vaults and just moved on into what's going on in the wasteland and just came back to the vaults later. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I I I feel like there hasn't really been much that's happened this season. Do you feel that way? Like I feel like season 1 there was a lot that occurred in hindsight, but I kind of feel like I don't know if now that we're almost at the end of this season, I just feel like not a whole lot has happened overall.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, because it's been spread out pretty far, right? Like it's they stretched it out a little bit in some areas, and that kind of goes hand in hand with the girl with the one eye, because I feel like,
Steph,
okay,
yeah.
Steph, they could have put a little bit more seeds and sprinkles throughout, but then it's just one episode. They just kind of dump all this in there. And again, it was 40 minutes. I would have been okay with it being a little bit longer, because I feel like by the time it was concluded, I thought, man, that was it. That's done. We got a cool fight scene, but everything else was just kind of like gearing up, and it didn't feel like a penultimate episode. It didn't feel like it was leading into a finale, really.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, what do you foresee kind of as the finale for that storyline then? Like do you think that they're going to exile her? Are they going to lock her up? Are they going to like execute her? Or is she just going to make her way out of here and just escape on her own without having to interact with anyone else?
I feel like she's the kind of character that would escape on her own. I really do. Yeah, because
I wonder if she'll go to Betty and then Betty will just like reject her because she's kind of been snotty to Betty in these last few episodes.
oh, I could see that. I wonder like who, because she's in that overseer office. So does that overseer office have like prime control over opening up the doors to get to their vaults? Like, what's kind of like the limitations being in there, right?
Yeah, I guess I mean there is the drama where Steph was supposed to like share more water than she did, so clearly she doesn't have like full control. I mean, I think Betty has full control of Vault 30, and forgive me if I get the numbers wrong, 31, whereas Steph is like everything with 33. And yeah, so I obviously there's like some disconnect between the two of them, even though they can like send messages to each other and coordinate things. But yeah, it seems like they kind of just operate in their own siloed worlds.
Definitely, yeah.
I think that's all I had to say for that storyline. So where do you want to jump to next?
Yeah, I'd say we could swing on over to yeah, let's swing over to our three amigos, the two knights, brothers of steel. Well, for one former, and the Goggins character. Um, they really laid it on thick. It just this isn't the main story with them, but just the Thaddeus's transition into something that's maybe not a ghoul.
Poor
It's
guy.
kind of unsettling, yeah, because he picks this bolt action rifle. The other two guys are decked out to the like top of the line tech and everything like that, and then his arm falls off, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm a ghoul too. Haven't lost my nose yet, but I got this like thing, this mouth on my neck. Is
That
that
mouth
normal,
was
right?"
creepy,
It's like
man.
that was creepy. That was
Little
gross.
baby teeth on it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen and what the fallout is with that character, but yeah, I like that they were all teaming up, and I like that the moment between um, the brother of Steel, Maximus, I think
Maximus,
is his
yeah.
name. Yeah, Maximus, and then Goggins' character. Uh, just it was the last end of episode last week kind of thing where we get to see them kind of coinciding and connecting, and then here I was digging all of it. While it was brief, I liked their interactions with each other, and I liked their motivations, and how he had to give up that ultimate power, the cold fusion to Goggins' character, and that just makes me wonder. Okay, well, what is he up to now? Why did he know that he could talk to the guy going to his tower and putting that fusion tech in there? I mean, the guy wanted to live forever, so is this his way of living forever as a computer program, instead of being in a vault? So I'm just kind of curious. That's like, what is he going to ask? He's going to ask for help to get in there and get his family, because he can calculate the odds. So maybe he's like, if you do this, you'll have this percentage of rescuing them.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what he thought would happen in that moment. I mean, I think he thought putting that in there would like power up, presumably this like elevator and like the rest of the building so that he could go down and save Lucy. But then he saw the screen pop up and then Mr. House popping up on there. Which yeah, I there's some things in there that are definitely like New Vegas things that I won't won't allude to. I don't want to like potentially spoil anything there. But a cool moment for sure to get like Mr. House's robot face going on there, and just him answering is like a big resolution. And obviously, like we had that sequence in that same building, you know, back before the war with them as well, which was like a heated sequence that the two of them had. So yeah, I don't know if he expected to see Mr. House there. I think he was more just trying to go find Lucy. But then also part of this is he wants to find Lucy, but he also knows that this is like what's going to lead him to finding his family, because he has like confirmation that they're out there now, at least. So yeah, I mean, it seems like we are going to get like that pretty good reunion between the two of them next week, and we'll see what happens with Hank, because he's currently locked up. But you'd have to think he's smart enough to find a way to get out of that sequence, or maybe he's like an earshot of one of his slaves that he can get to like unlock him or something like that.
Yeah, I think there's a high chance that he'll just break that bloody stove and get out of there. I was starting to get convinced with Lucy, where Lucy was just like leaning more into what he was doing, and she fooled me. But at the end of the day, I guess like, okay, no, it makes sense. She was just kind of roping him, trying to get his guard down so that he could, or she could make this play and lock him up and all that jazz. So
Yeah, yeah. No, I liked that, some of the like bonding that they had too, because it felt awkward and it felt like, you know, it's not really gonna go anywhere, but still like just having like the father-daughter moment of like him teaching her how to drive in like a very Fallout way, with just like, yeah, a golf cart in like the Vault-Tec offices or whatever, instead of how you normally would in the real world. But like that was a cute sequence, because they were a fun combo of that in like season 1 when you got them together. Like they had good chemistry together, and obviously it's been a very different icy relationship that we've got here. But yeah, I think I kind of expected him more, because when I was on 2 weeks ago and I was talking with Travis about what I thought was going to happen, I thought he was going to like, you know, lock her up, and like he would have to like convince her over time to like trust him, whatever. But he put a lot of faith in her to just like, hey, I think I'm going to be able to schmooze her. I'm just going to like let her free. She's not locked up. She can leave if she wants to. She can lock him up. He obviously put the cuffs on himself last week and all that, and gave her a lot of control in that sequence last week as well, with when they brought in like the two new guys who hadn't been like mind controlled yet. So yeah, that's this whole sequence has gone a lot differently than I thought it would, and I think it reflects on Hank pretty well. It's like a very charismatic guy. Obviously, you know, he's done a lot of bad stuff, which we've seen. He like dropped the bomb on Sandy Shores and all that stuff. But still, like you kind of want to work with him. You kind of want to trust him. You kind of think that he's working in your best interest. So obviously he's schmoozed like a million people before. It's like what he does best.
Yeah, no, and he always just, in the flashbacks, it's hard for me to ever kind of like gauge him, because I just feel like he's got his own agendas and whatnot. And even now here, like just what he's doing, it doesn't sit with me, because I feel like he's just got a weird agenda going on, and it's just some grand plan that they keep alluding to, but we just don't know what the end result is, and that's what I'd like to
Yeah.
find out what's going on. But
I mean, yeah, now she's got the Pip-Boy, which I think is like the big difference maker, because presumably just his Pip-Boy alone has a lot of control to do all sorts of things. You can see his quest log, which she's going to find some dirty things in that quest log, that's for sure.
that's right. Yeah, no, that's true. So I guess that works. Yeah, not just in her or this vault, but all vaults, right?
Yeah. I guess so, because even like I was kind of surprised even when Norm got on that radio, and that radio just like instantly patched into like the Vault-Tec
Yeah.
headquarters there. Like that seemed very easy. He didn't have to like mess around with the signal or anything. It just like the voice went straight there. So clearly he's got some kind of yeah, oh yeah, Hank's almost like an overseer of the wasteland, right? Like he's got his tendrils kind of everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a good way of putting it, I guess.
And now that he's got like hundreds of people who will just do whatever he says, like that makes him a very powerful guy, even if all these people are like kind of incompetent.
Yeah, and I mean, it is sad too, with them just doing this against their will and whatnot. And I feel bad for the one dude who is a former NC,
NCR.
New California folk.
New
I feel
California Republic.
that's the one, yeah,
Yeah.
NCR. I feel bad that he is being controlled there and whatnot. It's a faction I would love to see kind of like bounce back in this world. But they say the
Yeah.
Legion is still out there after them self fighting and whatnot. But
Yeah. Yeah, I
for
mean,
the
you and the people like that. Everyone was cheering when Maximus is rolling up in the NCR power armor. Like people were thrilled to see
so
them.
the power of how did he word that? This is the power of brand recognition.
Yeah,
It's like that's
exactly. Yeah,
cool.
which is so true. Like that Fallout is so much about like brand names and propaganda. Like obviously all the Vault Tech stuff and the Pip Boy and the thumbs up and all that stuff. Like it's just propaganda city. So it makes a lot of sense that the people can see something as simple as like an NCR logo on power armor and then they just think, oh wow, we're gonna be saved now. This is great.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that cracks me up. I like that, and it was cool because I was trying to see like the helmet reminded me of Fallout Vegas's style of helmet, but I remember the cover art of just the helmet, and there was like the trench coat and the helmet, the bucket helmet with it too.
Right.
That's not this armor, is it? Because I feel like the theme that played when he cut off the
Interesting.
blanket was like Fallout Vegas's theme.
Now that you mention it, I feel like the helmet, like the mask part of the helmet at the very least, is kind of similar, but I honestly don't have a memory of there being like NCR power armor. Like I can't recall if I've bumped into that in any of the games. I'm sure I have, and it's specifically in New Vegas because that's a big faction there. But I can't recall because I mean in Fallout 4, obviously the power armor is a big part of that, but it's not in New Vegas or Fallout 3, right? Like there's enemies that wield it, but it's not like the same mechanically built out as it is in Fallout 4. So I don't even know if there is NCR power armor in the game of New Vegas overall. But the mask definitely looked a little bit different. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, no, it did. But that being said, I dig it. I like that they have their own power armor, and like I used to think that it was the Brotherhood of Steel's kind of thing, and then come to realize, oh, the Brotherhood of Steel is just recommissioning, reconfiguring, and salvaging the United States military tech, right? Because that was former previous World Order government stuff that they've repurposed. So, yeah.
Clancy Brown, by the way.
I was not expecting that. He always just pops up in everything, whether it's Star Wars, Dexter, and here he is, like.
Yeah, even like that guy who you were just talking about, like the guy who was mind controlled, like the one that kind of put Lucy over the edge of like, this seems weird. Like this, I met this guy a couple weeks ago in the hills. Like that guy was in White Lotus recently, so to have him in this show at like in that sequence a couple episodes ago, I was like, oh, that's weird that he's just has this tiny little role, and obviously he's come back, still a pretty small role, but funny that like they get an actor from like a critically acclaimed show recently, like a big character from a big show, and yeah, to get Clancy Brown in here for what must have taken him all of 15 minutes to like get in costume, film the scene, and get out of the studio. Like, I don't know. I don't know if we'll see him again next episode either, based on like kind of where we're left off. I don't know if we'll continue with that flashback at all. I guess that's possibly just a bit of a tease for season 3, but it feels like you could have easily shrouded that in not shown who the president was. And then, like, if you want to be that to be a big storyline in season 3, then you cast the actor. But hey, get ahead of it. Get Clancy Brown signing that contract to lock in. I suppose why not if you have the chance, right?
Yeah, no, that's right. And that's a storyline that I'm interested to see how it kind of goes sideways, because everything about that interaction just didn't jive with me. It felt like something was off. And then when Lucy gets into the mainframe, now you see the head connected. Is that head that senator lady?
Yeah.
Why?
Why? That's an interesting question. I mean, presumably she's a really good secretary, so we're gonna have this secretary for all time. So I guess it was like, well, what happened? So at the Lucky 38, did they have the cold fusion, like that? That little blue battery that just has like endless power. That's what that is, right? Was that in the Lucky 38? Like presumably after the war started, like after all the bombs dropped and stuff, and then at some point someone came to the Lucky 38, took it out, and that's why the Lucky 38 is kind of been decommissioned in the meantime. I presume that the cold fusion was in there at some point, and then it just, and presumably that was powering her head and keeping her alive. And then when that got taken, that's when she died, and a lot of the facilities broke down. We'll see. Remains to be seen next week. Like the things that Howard's about to go find. We'll see what the rest of this place is looking like. Obviously, Mr. House, whatever's going on with him, enough to have a screen, whether that's him or just a screen, who knows? Just an AI, I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, I feel like that's maybe the order of events. Like the cold fusion, I don't know when it was taken, but it was taken out of there. And I don't know if there's just one of those or if there's multiple of these cold fusion battery MacGuffins. I'm not sure about the specifics of that.
Interesting. Okay, no, that clears the air a little bit, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, but it seemed like she was connected to. I couldn't tell if there was there was other bodies in that room, like in like other cryo tubes or something that she was powering. It seems like she was just kind of like a secretary, like powered to all the computers and all the software of the building or something like that. Like almost like Tony Stark's like Friday or whatever it is, just like the AI power in the suit, but just controlled by a human, because of course it's followed, and you gotta have some monstrosity of a person being put in a precarious situation.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Before we continue, let's just take a quick ad break, and we'll be right back. And we're back. And you know what? If you just hate ad breaks and you just want to just not be there for that, well, we got a solution for you. You can just go check out our Patreon and get ad-free exclusive early episodes available there. It's a great place to be because we've got lots of content that some of it's time sensitive, and it's available there. You get to access like voting and whatnot with Golden Geeks. It's a great time. We just did Golden Geeks. We did the Marvel MCU Golden Geeks too. Lots of things. And yeah, bread and butters, originals, all that kind of jazz. It's a great place to be. And speaking of, we're going to shout out our Patreon producers, Aaron Braden, April of Darkness, Jack Grant, Superbad Mike, The Good God Loves Me 69, Hidalgo, Lenny Kravitz, Cocktail Clay, John with No H, Sam Green, and John M. You folks are fantastic. Thank you so much for everything that you do. So yeah, go check out the Patreon. Yeah, so what else is there here?
Yeah, I want. Well, still just with that final sequence as well. I loved the editing of that final sequence with Howard when we're going with the flashbacks of him meeting up with the president and having conversation with that secretary lady, and then also like him in real time getting into the Lucky 38, looking around, kind of these memories flooding back to him, and then obviously we're going to those memories, putting in the cold fusion thing. The freaking song choice was a weird song, and normally like a lot of the music that's used in this show, like the big, not like the score that you kind of don't really think about so much as in the background, but like when they pop a big song for like a big action sequence or something, I'm recognizing like most of these songs, right? Because it's like, oh yeah, this is a big Fallout. I love this song. This is like always on the radio in Fallout 3 or New Vegas or whatever. Mostly New Vegas this season. But that song I did not recognize. I don't think that's from a game, which I would not be surprised about because it's a very jarring song. Like if that just came on the radio, it would take you out of the flow of like having fun in the wasteland. But it was a weird song. It made me feel very uneasy, which that whole sequence was meant to do. And then just the editing and the back and forth between those two sequences, I thought that was a really, really well done sequence. So yeah, just big shout out to whoever was editing that bad boy, because I think they just absolutely crushed it. It was so cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well said.
Mm-hmm. And then I guess the last thing that we have yet to talk about here is I guess just like the Deathclaw fight. What did you think of the Maximus fighting some Deathclaws? Because we talked about this. So we were kind of baited a bit a few weeks ago when they first encountered the Deathclaw. It was pretty much just threw a grenade as a distraction and they pieced out. But we actually got like a full-ish fight. I feel like we're gonna get more of it next week. It seems like. But yeah, what did you think of what we got here?
Yeah, I was digging it. I was afraid at the start where I was like, okay, are we only getting one Deathclaw in here? Because we see it eating the other one. I'm thinking, oh crap, okay, so yeah, they're gonna be basically axing all the other 5 that we saw and just give us the one in this fight. But no, that wasn't the case. We got to see kind of like him square off against a couple. And I like it. It was pretty cool. I like seeing Goggins' his character, his like pulse plasma energy gun that he was firing off. Yes. That was kind of cool. And I thought
taking the chunks out of it was
yeah,
nice.
Yeah. I thought that with the CGI and the practical effects of them moving around in a very lighted setting too, they looked really good. They didn't look bad. So
I think they looked
I
better in the nighttime. There was a
oh
couple
for
sequences that
sure.
it wasn't quite perfect, but yeah, in terms of like slashing its limbs off or shooting the chunks out of it, I thought all that part of it looked good.
Yeah, and I liked I liked that with the blades, on his
It was cool.
gauntlets. Yeah, like grabs his wrist and he slices down and slices the Deathclaw's fingers off. That was pretty cool.
Hmm.
So, yeah, there was a lot with that sequence that I enjoyed. And I thought so he was lying cuz he said that Lucy was down in that vault, but the vault's not there cuz this is just House's
I
place.
I don't know. Maybe it's like an interconnected tunnel system under. Like it seems like a huge facility, right? So maybe they are
Yeah.
interconnected underground.
Well, they were trying to make you think that Goggins and her were the open up mainframe was going to be kind of the same thing. I felt like with the way that they were kind of filming that scene, or maybe it was
Sure,
just something. Hmm.
I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean, I do think they are there, right? Because when we had the whole sequence of like Hank actually going out and like greeting Lucy out in Freeside, with like the servant guy who like locked her up and stuff.
Hmm.
Like so, I assume they are there
They're
in
there.
Vegas. So maybe it's not that exact same building, but it's like it's the strip. At least if you consider it by the game sense, like in the game, it takes you all of 30 seconds to walk from one end of New Vegas to the other. Like it's a pretty small area, and the show honestly doesn't make it seem much bigger than that. Like they didn't blow up the scale a whole lot. So I feel like yeah, maybe it's not the Lucky 38, perhaps, but I do feel like there's a good chance that there's some sort of underground connectivity there, some secret underground Resident Evil inspired base.
Yeah, yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I enjoyed the fight. I thought it was decent. I wanted it to be a bit longer. I wanted it to be a little bit more engaging, perhaps. But I do think whatever is going to happen next week is going to be bad. I mean, the door is broken down, which obviously, if the Death Claw could like is powerful enough to throw him in NCR power armor through that gate, the Death Claw is powerful enough to like just punch that door down
That's what
in the
Madison
first
was
place.
saying. Like, why couldn't they break out of there?
The Deathclaw could like see through it when it was like they were seeing it walk around from like outside. So I don't know. I never really, it's a loading zone. So by video game logic, it actually makes a whole lot of sense, but by real world logic, it doesn't. But yeah, now that gate's broken down and the Deathclaws are peeking out the door and all these people, I don't know what's gonna happen to them, but there could be a bloodbath next week for sure in the streets of Freeside.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that. Wouldn't like that. That would be bad.
Hmm.
But I like I said, I'm just surprised that they just didn't smash that gate open before. It doesn't really make much sense.
Yeah, because they're eating each other, which seems like not a very like I guess is that the only thing they have to eat is each other?
I mean,
I feel like in the game they never attack each other, so I'm not sure if they
I
normally
don't
do that
have
in the wild.
yeah, I don't have much to say in the game because are they in packs? Are they usually multiple in one
I've
area?
seen them in packs, but they're never attacking each other, to my knowledge.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure then.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But you'd think there's some good eating like right over the fence that they would maybe want.
Oh, there's some good eating, all right. Yeah, my
Yeah,
goodness.
yeah. I don't think. I think that was all my notes for this one. I'm excited for next week. I think I've honestly this episode in general didn't really do it for me, but that last 15 minutes I thought was quite spicy, and so I'm quite excited leading into the finale here.
Hmm. Yeah, I am too. I think it's going to be something that I think it's something that's going to be pretty juicy, and hopefully they wrap it up in a nice bow. If they see that it's like 35 to 40 minutes, I'm going to be a little bit concerned. I'm hoping that at
They've
least
been
we get that
pretty
hour.
consistently 50, I feel like, for the last few weeks.
Hmm.
45
Yeah,
at the minimum, so I think we'll get a nice juicer.
it's just they're going to obviously end it with a cliffhanger for season 3. Because there's just too much story still to tell. She's going to destroy the mainframe, and then we're going to get Hank somehow brought to justice and brought back to vaults 31, 33. I think you got to have Lucy go back to her vaults to see what's going on
Check in on everyone.
and
Yeah.
check in on everyone and the plan. And then Norm, like what's going to happen with Norm? We got to figure that out. And yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much it.
I don't think Norm's getting saved this season. I feel like that's a next season thing.
Definitely a next season thing. I mean, he was just he was knocked out last week. He got knocked out again. You know,
Yeah.
this isn't good for your skull, and just boom,
Yeah.
just knocks him out.
But I mean,
Oh my
honestly,
god.
this as we've talked about, like the scale is weird. Like there is a lot of fast travel that occurs in this show. Like even when Howard and crew, they meet up with each other at the end of the last episode. In this episode, they're like, "Hey, we gotta go to Lucky 38," and we're like, "Oh, we're going the wrong way." And he's like, "Oh, we got to go load up first." I definitely thought we were just leading up to like, okay, they're gonna get equipped next week. We go to the strip and we get that for the finale. But like, no, they just teleport. They were back in Freeside in like 5 minutes. It felt like ready to take down some death claws. So people be moving. So I don't know. Maybe Lucy gets out there and finds Norm, but that would seem like a bit much considering it seems like he's quite far away from where they are. But again, fast travel. I don't know.
Yeah, the whole fast travel thing for sure. Because when Maximus was like, yeah, Vegas is a strip is back that way, and it seemed like they were in a whole different environment now, right? Like there was greenery and everything like that, and I thought they call it the New California Republic, but how like is that in another state entirely? Is that back in California? Because
Mm.
Nevada is close, but not walking distance close.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I guess they've kind of spread their wings, because it's New California. It's not old California.
That's New California. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's all for me, Taylor.
Yeah, I think that is all for me too. Well, cool. Yeah, you and Travis will certainly be here next week, and I might just sneak my way in as well. I'll keep you guys posted. Yeah, but it'll be a good time. So until then, everyone, we'll see you soon. Have a good one.
Good night.